The following is a presentation of 912 Sports. Welcome to On Air with 912 Sports, your number one source for high school sports. With Sean Smoke, Kevin Price, and Robbie Ross. On Air with 912 Sports is brought to you by Coastal Pines Technical College. Go Coastal. Prime South Bank. Find your prime. Robbie Robertson Ford, because Fords are cheaper in the swamp. Gibson Animal Clinic, practical solutions with limited fees. Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, the region's best orthopedic care. And Kim Smoke, licensed realtor with Crossway Realty.
High schoolers, did you know that you can get a head start on your college career and save money at the same time through dual enrollment at Coastal Pines Technical College? Dual enrollment is open to high school juniors and seniors, tuition free. Talk to your high school counselor or visit coastalpines.edu for more information. Coastal Pines Technical College, an equal opportunity institution. Go Coastal.
It makes sense Prime South Bank would have a great mobile app. Nobody is as mobile as our customers. For a century, they've chased dreams, followed their hearts, took the road less taken, made a new path, taken leaps of faith. At Prime South, offering the latest digital banking, secure pay apps, and new online lending is part of a mobile tradition that goes way back. Life is mobile. So is Prime South. Find your Prime. Member FDIC.
Robbie Ross with the Ross Report for Week 2 of high school football in the 912. Big week of high school football last week, and it all started with our 912 Sports GOW, which is Game of the Week, the Commissioner's Cup. Liberty and Bradwell. Liberty wins it 32-12. It was Appling County all over Aiken, South Carolina, 42-7. Screven County squeaks by Bacon County 7-6. Brantley County goes to 2-0 for the first time since 2019 and only the 7th time in 35 years by beating Groves 42-8. They can move to 3-0 for the first time since 2005 with a win against Beach tomorrow night. Brunswick goes to 2-0. They now have won 12 straight regular season games after going 10-0 last year. They defeat Camden 16-10. It was Charlton on top of Yulee out of Florida 21-7. Clinch County beats Macon County for the first time in school history 24-20. It was Bainbridge beating Coffee 24-21 in a nip and tuck game there. Burke County over Effingham 28-10. And Frederica Academy, they were up 27-0. No, it was 26-0, then 26-7, and then they were down 28-27, and then they won it 34-27 at the end to get their first win of the year over Tift area in an exciting game there. McIntosh County Academy and Glenn Academy played last Thursday night at Glenn County Stadium. It was Glenn Academy winning 22-12. Pierce County all over, surprisingly all over, Jeff Davis 56-7. Long getting their first win of the year. They beat Tatnall County 22-9. New Hampstead over Windsor Forest 44-7. Ware County opens the season with a win over Richmond Hill 20-7. It was Statesboro defeating Southeast Bullock as part of the Ert Russell Classic at Paulson Stadium. Statesboro won the Battle of Bullock County over Southeast Bullock 56-14. It was Toombs County 21-0 over Wheeler County. Vidalia 48-0 over Beach. And it was Brooks County over Wayne County down in Quitman, Georgia, way down south Georgia, 39-25. That's the Ross Report. We'll see you back here next week on 912 Sports.
play it loud and rev it up. Robbie Robinson's got trucks built for tough.
Make your way to Robbie Robertson Ford in Waycross, where the deals are bigger than ever. Looking for a stylish midsize car, a spacious SUV, or a truck that performs at work and play? Robbie Robertson wants your vehicle and is paying top dollar. Now is the time to buy. Fords are cheaper in the swamp.
At Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, you don't have to be an athlete to get the region's best orthopedic care. Our board-certified orthopedic surgeons and physicians treat injuries and conditions that affect just about any joint or bone in your body. Plus, we're backed by the support of Southeast Georgia Health System. From fracture repair to joint replacement, Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery will get you moving again. Call 1-855-ASK-SGHS. That's 1-855-275-7447 or visit sghs.org/summit.
Hello everybody, I'm Kevin Price for On Air with 912 Sports. My assignment in week 2 of the high school football season was to cover the Camden County Brunswick High School game out at Glenn County Stadium, and what a game it was. Last Friday night, the Brunswick High School Pirates prevailed 16-10 over the Wildcats, and really what was a hard-fought physical game that could have went either way. It really went all the way to the wire before the Pirates got it done. The score was 10-10 at the start of the fourth quarter when Brunswick High made a 37-yard field goal to tie that ball game up. The Pirates actually led 7-0 early as Camden County fumbled a punt snap. The first time they had the ball, gave the ball to the Pirates at their own 5-yard line. Brunswick called Jaden Drayton's number 3 times, and he scored to give the Pirates that early 7-0 lead. Brunswick also had a turnover deep on its side of the field before halftime, and Camden County ended up getting a field goal off of that, so the halftime score was 7-3. Camden comes out in the second half and ends up taking the lead right there late in the third quarter, going up 10-7 on the Pirates. But like I say, Brunswick comes back with another drive, and on the last play of the third quarter, they let the time run out and end up starting that fourth quarter with that 37-yard field goal to tie it up. And then Brunswick's defense makes a stand. They get the ball in good field position, the Pirates do, and on the very first play, they give that ball to Jaden Drayton again. He's a senior who has made an impact in Brunswick's first 2 games for sure already. He goes 45 yards to the house on Brunswick's first snap, and Brunswick regains the lead. They actually missed the extra point, so it's a 16-10 ball game with a little over 9 minutes to go, I believe it was. But that could have been huge, and we'll tell you why in a moment. But back to Jaden Drayton. You probably just saw that touchdown run of his, but he already has 4 touchdowns in Brunswick's first 2 games. Of course, he's a Harvard commit at the moment, unless he were to get an outstanding Power 5 offer that he can't turn down. But of course, certainly nothing wrong with that Harvard education, and also playing football there for Harvard as well. But 4 touchdowns in Brunswick's first 2 games. In game number 1, he had a punt return for a touchdown and also had a receiving touchdown. And in this game, scored both of Brunswick's touchdowns there on the ground. But Camden comes back in the fourth quarter after that BHS score, and they look like the old Camden County, just taking that wing tee and driving that football. Had a really good Pirate defense. They converted on 4th down and also 3rd down. They get the ball down inside Brunswick's 10-yard line, and that clock winding its way toward the 1-minute mark. But Brunswick's defense stiffened. They had played well pretty much most of the night, really doing a good job of limiting Camden's big plays in that wing tee. But Camden ran a couple of running plays. Then they had to call a timeout. They set up a pass play. They threw the ball to the end zone on 3rd and goal from the 9. Ivan Johnson, one of Brunswick's 2-way players, breaks it up in the end zone. So it's going to be 4th and goal now for the Wildcats. And they run a rollout pass, and then they're going to try to throw a route to a running back, Riddle, out of the backfield. And Lionel Twitty, one of Brunswick's linebackers, number 7, a senior, another college prospect on that BHS defense, jumps up and bats down the pass, and it probably would have been caught, and it may have been caught for a touchdown if Twitty does not make that athletic play with his athletic ability and his senior experience. and ended up batting that ball down. It's a turnover on downs. And like I say, that missed extra point by the Pirates could have been crucial, because if Camden scores right there, obviously they're just an extra point away from regaining the lead there with just a little over a minute left on the clock. Brunswick kneels on the ball down around its own goal line and gets out of there with a hard-fought 16-10 win. But I know this game was discouraging for Camden. They laid it on the line after a disappointing opening game where they lost 13-10 to a Columbia team they were heavily favored against. But this looked like the Wildcats we were expecting to see this year. I know they're young, but they look good in that uniform, and they played their hearts out Friday night. And Coach Jeff Herron told us that he saw the heartache in the kids. They were crying, of course, teared up in the locker room. And while it was unfortunate Friday night, he knows that care, that passion is there, and this is something they can build on. He told the team they're close to knocking down that door, and they very well could start knocking it down here pretty soon and start pulling out some of these ball games. Of course, they lost a lot of tough ones last year too, going down the stretch, including in that tough Region 1 that they're going to go against again this year. But also a big win on the other side for the Brunswick High School Pirates. They're now 2-0, and of course started the season with a win over Andrew Jackson out of Jacksonville at Glenn County Stadium. This game, a different animal, if you will, taking on the Wildcats. And basically it was a physical battle, an intense battle. Good to see the Pirates go toe-to-toe with somebody that at least maybe has the size and the strength and the speed that the Pirates do. So winning this game and winning it in the fashion they did, I think also bodes well for the Pirates. So this week, Brunswick off, and we'll get ready for that Border War Classic. They'll take on Bowles in another huge ball game in a couple of Fridays from now, actually next Friday. And then Camden right back at it tomorrow night against Glenn Academy there at Chris Gilman Stadium. Should be another good one as the Wildcats still look for win number 1. Glenn Academy coming into that game 2-0 after beating McIntosh this past week on a Thursday night and winning that thrilling 43-42 game against Statesboro in overtime on the road to start the season. So that's it. Lord willing, I'll be down in Kingsland tomorrow night watching the Wildcats and the Red Terrors, and I'll have a report on that game right here next week on Air with 912 Sports.
It makes sense Prime South Bank would have a great mobile app. Nobody is as mobile as our customers. For a century, they've chased dreams, followed their hearts, took the road less taken, made a new path, taken leaps of faith. At Prime South, offering the latest digital banking, secure pay apps, and new online lending is part of a mobile tradition that goes way back. Life is mobile. So is Prime South. Find your Prime. Member FDIC.
Welcome, sports fans, and thanks for watching On Air with 912 Sports. I'm Sean Spoke, publisher of 912 Sports, joined as always by head writer and podcast host Kevin Price. Kevin, how you doing this morning?
Doing good, Sean. Getting ready for the big Labor Day weekend. Of course, college football kicking off, and that kind of adds to the excitement. This is when we would start the season, I guess, with high school football as well, but we're well underway with the prep stuff and college kicking in. NFL's on the way, so really is starting to feel like football season now.
Exactly. Well, let's jump into the games coming up the week of 9-2. And game of the week here for 912 Sports, Kevin, a good one. Appleton County going to go on the road and play over at Wayne County. Appleton coming off a big win last week over Aiken, South Carolina. Wayne played Brooks County really tough, had a chance to win that game late. So hats off to them, even though it didn't go in the win column. A great performance there for Wayne County. And now you get the old water cooler game here, Kevin. A lot of those guys work over there at that plant. You got a lot of Appleton Baxley people over there. You got a lot of Jessup Wayne people over there. So this one means a lot. Carries a little bit of weight. And Jabbo Shaw's going to get indoctrinated into it. Jordan Mullis already had one under his belt. Got a victory last year. So we'll see what happens over there at not Bo Warren Field, but JC Stadium, and see what who can shake out on top over there. But going to be a good one Friday night.
Yeah, for sure. Old backyard brawl, 341 battle, and I tell you what, I know J-Bo's not into moral victories, but that game last week kind of surprised me. I mean, they were right there with Brooks the whole way. I think even may have led early, and Maurice didn't lay the hammer to them too bad. I don't think it was 39-25 was the final score. So again, I doubt J-Bo is going to take a moral victory there, but Wayne was competitive in that game against the defending state champion there. And then, of course, Appleton didn't play week 1 against Ware, got weathered out, took it to Aiken 42-7, I believe it was. So big runaway victory there for Appleton. This is for, bragging rights, 365 days going forward. Right now, you probably feel like Appleton's the more established program, with Wayne still trying to find its footing under Coach Shaw. But this is one where you can throw the records out. Of course, neither team has a gigantic record at this point, where Wayne 1-1. Appleton 1-0, but in terms of the recent past, like you said, Appleton won the last one, has won the last 2 actually, including last year's 41-7 victory over a Wayne team that had a tough season. So we'll see how this one goes. The fire marshal, Sean, might have to turn his head in terms of at the gate, because I don't think they want to turn anybody away.
Yeah, if you want to sit Friday night, you probably want to be there early. So this one will be packed over there at JC Stadium, but a good one if you get a chance, go over there and check that one out. Bacon going to go on the road to Berrien County. Bradwell, coming off that loss last week in the Commissioner's Cup to Liberty, got to travel over to New Hampstead, who's 2-0. Beach going to go play Brantley. Kevin, Brantley County's got a chance to be 3-0. This season. So we'll see if Jeff Cannon and his Herons can get it done. Brunswick High is going to be open this week, Kevin, coming off that big win last week over Camden, but going to get the chance to get ready for extra week of practice as they get ready for that Border Wars, and coming up facing Bulls Friday. I believe that game is on the 9th. So big one coming up for BCS, but they are off this week. Speaking of Camden County, 0-2 on the season, Kevin, and they got to face Rocky Hidalgo and the Red Terrors, who's going to be coming in to Camden County this Friday night. Can Camden get on this, get on the winning side of things? Can Glen Academy go 2-0, which, a lot of people didn't give Glen a lot of pub and a lot of love in the beginning of the preseason. But here they are sitting at 2-0, Kevin, with a chance to go 3-0 against a kind of a wounded duck there with Camden. But going to be a good one down there in Kingsland on Friday night.
Yeah, the Wildcats are wounded right now, Sean. Lost that one to Columbia 13-10. To open the season. Big shocker there. And then lost a tough one, a classic football game Friday night to Brunswick. It was a tense physical game. Both teams laid it on the line. Both teams wanted that game for different reasons. And it was 10-10 right there at the start of the fourth quarter. And Brunswick wins that game 16-10, stops Camden inside the 10-yard line there late in the game to preserve that victory. And it was a heartbreaker in terms of Camden County losing that ball game. And Coach Herondale thought it was something he could build on. He saw that his kids were heartbroken, and even though it was frustrating Friday night, he felt like that was a positive going forward. But, Sean, this is not necessarily a must-win situation for Camden. It is a non-region game, but it is a much-needed chance for a win for the Wildcats to get, some reward for a good week of practice probably, and to see the fruits of their labor really means something. Now, for Glen Academy, you could argue they're playing with house money here, Sean. They're 2-0, beat Statesboro in overtime, 43-42 on the road. Won a Thursday night game last week, kind of a ho-hum game. They were working on things in addition to trying to win that game against McIntosh, won it 22-12. I really think the key for Glen is going to be to match up with Camden in the trenches. Camden's going to have a good-looking offensive line, and Glen is a little bit behind the 8 ball right now on the defensive front. I know Coach Rock wants to see more out of his defensive line. And then Camden's defensive line is stout. That might be one of the strengths of their football teams. And Glen's offensive line is very much a work in progress. And I think for Glen, it's going to be tough sledding probably on the ground. They are going to have to establish a run game with Greg Peacock and maybe even Tyler Devlin at quarterback. But I think a controlled passing game and taking some long shots down the field to Prince and some of those other receivers, if they can give Devlin time, will open up things for that run game. But this game could very well be won in the trenches, and if that's the case, Camden has the advantage going in.
Yeah, going to be a tough sledding for Glenn to try to match up against that big numbers of that 7A program. But we'll see what happens down there on Friday night. See if Glenn can go 3-0, or see if Camden can put one in the win column. West Nassau, Florida is going to travel to Charlton County. Charlton County 2-0. Kevin, coming off that big win over Yulee this past Friday night. Miller County is going to go play at Clinch. Clinch 2-0 on the season, knocked off Macon County, who's a highly ranked single A school there in Macon County. So big win for Clinch this past Friday night. I tell you, we're going to have to start calling Clinch the Cardiac Kids, Kevin. That's 2 weeks in a row.
That's right.
They've won late in the game on pass plays of all things there for Clinch County. So Coffee County going to travel down to St. Augustine, going to go play one of those Florida schools. So it's kind of going to be get Coffee on the road there to play an unknown entity there in St. Augustine. And then we've got Effingham at Statesboro. Kevin, this was a region game last year. Now Statesboro's moved down to 5A. So you've got Effingham stayed there at 6A. Effingham, like I said, dropped the opener to Richmond Hill. Statesboro's 1-1 now after coming off that win there with Southeast Bullock. So really an interesting matchup going to happen over in the borough on Friday night.
Yeah, these two teams have been playing for a long time, Sean, and so it's sort of a rivalry here in the 912 as well. Effingham off to a slow start, kind of puzzling. Lost, like you said, 14-0 to Richmond Hill in week 1, and then lost 28-10 against a decent Burke County team last week. Both of those games on the road. Now they're going on the road again to play Statesboro. So 3 weeks in a row for Effingham on the road here to start the season. And, of course, Statesboro, as we've already mentioned, lost that tough one in overtime, 43-42 to Glenn, shootout style there, but then came back with an impressive win, 55-14 over local rival Southeast Bullock in the Irk Russell Classic at Paulson Stadium Saturday night, late Saturday night. That game started after 9 o'clock, but Cam McHale was back at quarterback for Statesboro in that game. Jordan Lovett, who ran for like 275 yards against Glenn, of course, was in the game. Both of those two put on a show. I don't even think they played in the second half last week against Southeast Bullock. So that's key number one when you play Statesboro, is to slow down that two-star tandem there. But I tell you what, the way Statesboro's scoring, the way they probably can control the ball right now, I don't see Effingham being able to even score 20 points, much less score in the 30s if Statesboro were to get there. Effingham's got to find some offense, and they need to do it in a hurry.
Yeah, when Cam McHale's on the field, you've got speed, and he's definitely a touchdown waiting to happen. So kind of give the edge to Statesboro in this game. But, Kevin, we're going to take a break, and we're going to come right back here after these messages and talk a little more high school football for the week of 9/02. You're watching On Air with 912 Sports.
Play it loud and rev it up. Robbie Robertson's got trucks built for tough.
Make your way to Robbie Robertson Ford in Waycross, where the deals are bigger than ever. Looking for a stylish midsize car, a spacious SUV, or a truck that performs at work and play? Robbie Robertson wants your vehicle and is paying top dollar. Now is the time to buy. Fords are cheaper in the swamp.
Gibson Animal Clinic is ready to help with your animals. From cats to dogs to horses, we treat them all. Call on us for grooming, bathing, boarding, and more serious things like surgery, dentistry, spay, neuter, immunizations, heartworm prevention, flea control, complete lab testing, radiology, preventive health care. Call us at 285-7678. Open Saturdays for your convenience. Gibson Animal Clinic. Practical solutions with reasonable fees. Russell J. Gibson, DVM.
Gibson Animal Clinic, 108 Riverside Drive, Waycross.
Hablamos español en nuestra clínica.
High schoolers, did you know that you can get a head start on your college career and save money at the same time through dual enrollment at Coastal Pines Technical College? Dual enrollment is open to high school juniors and seniors, tuition free. Talk to your high school counselor or visit coastalpines.edu for more information. Coastal Pines Technical College, an equal opportunity institution. Go Coastal.
Welcome back, sports fans, and thanks for watching On Air with 912 Sports. I'm Sean Smoke, joined as always by Kevin Price. Kevin, let's get into part two of our preview here for the week of 9-2. Let's start off with Frederica with a big last-minute victory last week over Tift area. Going to go to Valwood to try to go 2-1 on the season. Valwood, generally a powerhouse there in GIAA, so we'll see if Frederica can get it done. And then moving on down, we got Jeff Davis going to go on the road to play Swainsboro. Kevin, you and I got a chance to be a part of this game last year as we drove over to the Pinelands. And a big game really was for a region title, basically is what it was, a play-in game for a region title. Jeff Davis come up on a little short end of the stick there with a bad call and a missed field goal late in the game. But two heavyweights going at it. Jeff Davis may not be the same team they were last year, Kevin. Took a pretty big thrashing this past Friday night by Pierce County, 56-17, and Swainsboro's rolling. I mean, they dominated Washington, who's one of their big rivals this past Friday night. So it could be some tough sledding for Coach Lance Helton when he gets to Swainsboro.
Yeah, Jeff Davis in rebuilding mode. And, we talked to Coach Lance Helton coming right out of spring practice there in May as we were sort of moving into the summer portion of this show. And not only did we talk about that, we talked about the tough schedule they were going to face. And, boy, has it been tough. They lost to Charlton in overtime in week 1 and then lost that game, last week big to Pierce. And now here they are going to be playing Swainsboro in week 3, an old region rival. Not a region rival anymore, but still a team they wanted to keep on their schedule because some of the battles they've had with them. And you mentioned that one last year that we witnessed, and it was a great game and a great atmosphere. And that ended up being huge because Jeff Davis had a much tougher draw in the playoffs, having to go play Raven County, Coach J-Bo Shaw, Gunner Stockton in the playoffs. And then, Swainsboro ended up taking advantage of their draw and going all the way to the Final Four, I believe, before losing to Fitzgerald. So Swainsboro comes back, I think, with a little more experienced team, and they went up to the House of Pain last week and ruined the home debut of Robert Edwards, the former UGA quarterback who played there at Swainsboro, along with guys like Takeo Spikes and his brother Terrence Edwards, who I believe is on his staff. But they have won their first 2 games, Sean, over Metter 21-7 and over Washington County 42-0. So they have outscored their first 2 opponents 63-7. So Swainsboro's rocking and rolling. I would like to see Jeff Davis win this game for personal and professional reasons, but it looks like Statesboro might have more weapons at its disposal right now.
Yeah, they seem to be clicking on all cylinders over there in Swainsboro. Going to be a tough draw there for Lance Helton and his Yellow Jackets. But we'll move right along. Liberty County's opening. Liberty County coming off the big Commissioner's Cup victory there in Hinesville, defeating Bradville last Friday night. Long County with a big win, Kevin, over Tattnall last weekend. I really thought Tattnall probably had a little bit of an advantage going into that game, but Coach Mike Feaster and his Long County Blue Tide got it done. They're going to be at Troutland this week. MCA coming off the loss to Glen Academy is going to be open, so they get a chance to get a week better. And then Pierce County coming off that huge win over Jeff Davis, going to travel up to Metter. Metter is a small single-A school, Kevin, but a semifinal single-A school. Metter's been really good the last 2 years. I think they've been back-to-back semifinals there. But the Metter Tiger is going to be a tough draw there for Pierce County. Pierce got to go on the road, play at their place. Got a very nice facility, turf facility up there in Metter. But listen, Pierce County is clicking on all cylinders. DJ Bell last week with a solid night, Kevin. 7th game in a row, over 250 yards, 6 touchdowns on the night, 5 rushing, 1 passing. So Pierce is really hitting on all cylinders. Could be a long night for the Tigers.
Yeah, and I looked it up, Sean. I didn't remember these 2 teams playing any time in recent years, but it's been a longer time that they haven't played than I realized. They go all the way back to 1981 is the last time they played. Pierce won that game 21-14. Both teams had 8-win seasons that year and went to the playoffs. But, Pierce rolled last week, 56-17 over Jeff Davis. You mentioned the big night by DJ Bell. I mean, he just came back strong like he never left the field, and just going to be real exciting to see what this kid can do along with the Bears this year. And then Metter, like you said, they've been strong the last few years. Lost that first game 21-7 to Swainsboro. Won their second game 28-14 over ECI. Metter's had a good defense the last few years. They're going to have to play defense to slow down DJ Bell and company Friday night.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see what Pierce does. Do they go to the quarterback formation, or do they stay in that big bear? When that thing's working, man, they are tough to stop. So we'll see what Coach Herron pulls out for them on Friday night. Jenkins going to travel up to Richmond Hill. Going to be tough sledding for Jenkins there. Richmond Hill coming off that tough loss to Ware County. They're going to be angry. So it's going to be a tough night for Jenkins there in Richmond Hill. South Effingham is going to travel to Islands to try to get a win. Toombs is open. Toombs, I think, is 2-0 on the season, but right now they got to go get a week better here in this off week. And then Pinewood Christian's going to travel to Vidalia. Can't remember if this is Vidalia's home opener or not, but they're going to get a chance to put another one in the W column. And that brings us to our last game on the night, and that's Ware at Baldwin. Ware's going to travel up to Milledgeville to take on Baldwin. Baldwin 0-2 on the season. So been some tough sledding there for the Baldwin Braves. Ware coming off that emotional, rain-soaked win there Friday night against Richmond Hill, a game that got delayed, didn't start till like 8:20. And then, Kevin, it didn't rain, son. I mean, it was a monsoon from the time they snapped the ball to the time we walked on the field after the game. I mean, it was a gully washer, as they say. But Ware was able to come away winners. You could tell that was a first game for the Gators. Lost a lot of guys on defense. They were down 3 of their Saturday players. At one point, matter of fact, if you listen to the podcast on 912sports.net, Coach says at one point we were playing 9 sophomores on defense. So that was, like I said, kind of a max unit for the defense there for Ware. But listen, Richmond Hill played them tough. It was a good night for both teams. Ware come away with a victory, but we're going to go on the road and try to play a road game. They tried to play one in week 1, Kevin. Didn't get a chance to, got weathered out. So we'll see what the Gators can do on the road this Friday night.
Yeah, I heard him say at the start of that podcast that he was just trying to stay dry. I bet you if y'all would have went out to the practice field, it would have started raining when y'all did that podcast. But I know Coach Strick just wants to be able to get off the bus, go straight out to warm-ups, and go in the locker room, do his last little motivational talk, and then hopefully go out to kick off without any delays. We'll see if that happens up there in Middle Georgia area or not. But Baldwin off to a slow start, like you say, but they played 2 good teams, Sean. Peach County, they lost 50-20 in week 1, played a Putnam County team last week, lost that game 23-14. Putnam, though, went to the second round or the quarterfinals last year after an undefeated regular season, I think, lost to Fitzgerald in the playoffs, the defending Class AA champion, and Putnam lost some studs off that squad, so they might not be quite as good, but Baldwin has played 2 good teams, but, of course, Ware won this game last year between these 2 teams in a home and home, 41-20. They played a home and home several years ago when Coach Regal was the coach. So Ware should be able to go up there to that Middle Georgia area and get another win Friday night.
Yeah, we'll see how it transpires. And like I said, we just like to play a game at 7:30 with no lightning and get out of there. At a decent hour. So we'll see what happens there. There is a hurricane brewing down in the in the Atlantic, but I don't think it's going to pose a threat to anybody on Friday night. We'll keep our fingers crossed and see what happens there. But should be a good week. Hey, listen, get out and see a high school football game this Friday night. A lot of good choices there. But everybody have a safe Labor Day weekend, and we'll be right back here after these messages on Air with 912 Sports.
At Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, you don't have to be an athlete to get the region's best orthopedic care. Our board-certified orthopedic surgeons and physicians treat injuries and conditions that affect just about any joint or bone in your body. Plus, we're backed by the support of Southeast Georgia Health System. From fracture repair to joint replacement, Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery will get you moving again. Call 1-855-ASK-SGHS. That's 1-855-275-7447 or visit sghs.org/summit.
Gibson Animal Clinic is ready to help with your animals. From cats to dogs to horses, we treat them all. Calling us for grooming, bathing, boarding, And more serious things like surgery, dentistry, spay, neuter, immunizations, heartworm prevention, flea control, complete lab testing, radiology, preventive health care. Call us at 285-7678. Open Saturdays for your convenience. Gibson Animal Clinic. Practical solutions with reasonable fees. Russell J. Gibson, DVM.
Gibson Animal Clinic, 108 Riverside Drive, Waycross.
Hablamos español en nuestra clínica.
This has been a presentation of 912 Sports.